Fuji Pro 400H is basically my favorite film stock of all time. This is a press release from Fujifilm North America Corporation. It reads, as it has become increasingly difficult to procure the raw materials needed to produce Pro 400H, Fujifilm has made the difficult business decision to discontinue Pro 400H. So yeah, my favorite film is dead. I was just looking back at some of my old pictures and it turns out I actually have a roll of Fuji Pro 400H that I never made a video about. I still really like it and I think this roll was my favorite roll of film that I've ever shot. But yeah, I'm just gonna go through some of my favorite pictures and just talk about what I like and hopefully not get too sentimental about this beautiful film stock. Anyways, let's check out these pictures. This first picture that I shot here, I believe I was in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, Grand Teton National Park. And as you can see, the colors are just perfect. I took this, I think it was like 5 in the morning sunrise, but you can see the dynamic range. There's hardly any things that are blown out in the shadows or in the highlights. Everything is exposed perfectly. The colors are just beautiful. The greens are so vibrant. The sky, the pinks and the orange in the sky are just absolutely gorgeous. I also really like this nice fog here in the center. Fuji Pro 400H has an insanely high dynamic range, and I read in an article that said you can overexpose it by 6 stops and still have information in the highlights, which is just insane. And that allows you to take really low contrast pictures with it, and I really like low contrast pictures. It also has really nice and accurate color reproduction. It comes across very saturated, which I also really like in my photos. And literally my favorite photos that I like to take are low contrast, high saturation pictures. So this is literally the perfect film for that. This next one was of the actual mountains at sunrise, or a little bit after sunrise, I think. Again, the colors, the greens are so nice on this film. I think some of the shadows actually do come off a little green on this film, which maybe is the reason why the trees look so good, because I think the trees were the darkest part of this picture. But as you can see, right above these mountains here, the sky is not overexposed at all. I mean, I was just shooting some Portrait 800 earlier, and the dynamic range was just not even close. I would have completely blown out skies and completely black foreground. This next one here, also kind of basic. The shadows are a little dark and grainy in this one. I think it's still completely usable. The sky was very bright. The sun was just about to rise, but the colors in these clouds, these like nice pinks and deep blues next to each other, just the contrast between those two looks so good. And this film does such a great job reproducing those colors. I absolutely love this picture. Even though it's a little more basic, it's still, in my opinion, gorgeous. One of my favorites. These next 3 of my dad and my 2 sisters were all taken at the same time, and the color of the skin tones is just so nice on all 3 of them. I really think this is one of the best films for skin tones and for portraits in general. I've shot some Ector 100, and that one, the skin tones are just too pink, but this Fuji Pro just does such a good job reproducing these skin tone colors. This one in particular of my dad sitting in this chair, I really like this one. The colors, I can't get over the greens of this film. They're such nice greens. It's something that you could not get on a digital camera. This one's a really nice picture. I really like the composition. It's another example of the greens on this film and just how beautiful they are. It's a little more basic of a shot. It doesn't really show off the skills and the abilities of Fuji Pro 400H, but it's still a really nice picture. All right, these next few I've shot at some houses in a neighborhood, and these ones really show off the ability of this film. This first one here just really shows how much dynamic range is in this film. The sky was so bright, the sun had just set, and yet there's still information in these shadows, in these plants, and there's actually some on this house, and inside of this house, the light, and then the sky, the colors. I can't get over the contrast between the dark and light and how you can still see information in both. I love how this tree on the upper right looks, because like the edges, it's kind of outlined in this golden bright light. I think that looks absolutely gorgeous. These pictures are some of my favorite pictures that I've ever taken on film. This next one is also just a perfect example of the dynamic range on this film. The color colors in the sky. I love the smoothness of the clouds and the brightness of the sky with the darkness of this house. Again, like you can see information in the shadows. This sprinkler too, I think kind of, I don't know, it kind of frames it. It's kind of a nice balance between the pointed roof of the house. I also really like the sidewalk going through the bottom of the frame here. I think it also kind of helps frame the image. But, all right, this shot may be one of my best shots I've ever taken, ever, of all time, ever, maybe? The sky looks perfect. The colors, I love the colors of these flowers in front. It kind of balances out the colors of the clouds in the sky and also brings out a little bit of this brick chimney in the center. But the color balance between these nice pink colors in the flowers and the sky and also this tree, the green, the contrast between those two, I think they look really good together, and I think that's kind of why this picture worked out so well. I also really like this broken window kind of in the center of the frame. Again, just the dynamic range is absolutely phenomenal in this film. This is a picture of my friend. All right, this is a picture of my friend also in Jackson, Wyoming. The colors are amazing. I really like the reflection in this lake right here behind him. This picture, I think it's all right. Not the best composition. I don't really like this weird fence on the right, but it's not bad. All right, these next few I took also at sunrise, a different day up in Wyoming. This first one here is of my sister, and you notice these really nice purple tones in the sky. I absolutely love that. I think that's an example of a little bit overexposed, and it kind of gave this pastel purple look to the image. When you overexpose it just a little bit, it gives the colors a really nice pastel look, which is really popular. You see that in a lot of edits and a lot of like Lightroom presets. I really believe that nothing is as good as the film itself, and that's why it's just so sad that this film is being discontinued. But one thing I read in an article is that they're not actually stopping because of lack of sales, which I think is really good news, because hopefully it means that they'll still keep producing their other film stocks, which I know they have a decent amount of them, which just means that, you know, film is not dead, and I really hope and pray that it never dies. This next one was the main event. This one was the reason why we got there, and this one is absolutely phenomenal. I think this one was also a little bit overexposed. The sky was a little bit bright, but I still really like the tones and the colors that came across in it. Also the mountains, this nice pink orange color on the mountains from that sunrise light is just beautiful. And again, there's a whole bunch of detail in these nice dark shadowy trees down here below. This is one of my favorite pictures also. Again, it's a little more basic because it's just kind of the mountains, but I think it's still really nice. This picture is one of my friends. We're just kind of waiting for sunrise. This one also, again, the sky is bright and orange. It's such soft light. There's so much information in this nice blurred out background here. It was pretty cold that morning. Yeah, I really enjoyed this picture. This next one was right before sunrise actually, so it's still pretty dark. This one's a little bit underexposed, but I just could not get over these rays of light coming out. And it was like pink light. It was just amazing. This film has a really nice ability to be able to capture very similar colors and still differentiate between them. And this picture, I think, does an amazing job with that, especially the gradients of light and colors between these purple, pink, and blue right here in the sky. All right, this last one here is maybe my favorite picture I took on this roll. You have this nice tones in the sky, this nice gradient getting brighter as you get towards the mountains. It was right before sunrise, and my sister, we had gotten up, I think, around 3 in the morning to do a star time lapse, and my sister had literally fallen asleep on this rock. So I just thought I would snap a shot. I believe I used the flash for this picture just because it was so dark, and that's why this kind of rock closer is a lot brighter. But yeah, the colors of this picture, the colors in this blanket, and the texture in this blanket too. It's a nice wool, thick blanket with this kind of blurred out background. And I liked how this picture came out because the emphasis wasn't just on the mountains, it was more on my sister lying in front of them. And I thought that was really, really nice. All right, so yeah, that was my last roll of Fuji Pro 400H. Again, it's not really my last roll, it's my latest roll. I do have one more roll in my camera, and hopefully I'll have a couple rolls on the way. If you do want to buy it, again, Amazon and B&H, I believe, still have some in stock. You just got to order quick because I've already seen some go for insane prices on eBay. But yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you enjoyed these pictures, and I'll see you in my next video.